Hello everyone, and welcome back to Freedom Through Confidence, and welcome back to Red Pill 101. In the last part we learned a whole bunch of interesting information, we'll say. So the last thing that we learned from this video was that this guy believes that there is absolutely no way that a woman can love a man in the same way that he might love her. He can love the experience. So she can love the experience of him and love him as a father to her children, but never, as a person. So with that in mind, let's jump into the next part of this video and see where this rabbit hole takes us.
Also, marriage. We're talking about marriage right now. Marriage is a huge scam, all right? Let me tell you.
Okay, so finally we have some common ground. I cannot wait to see how he completely ruins a point that on the face of it, I would actually agree with. Let's continue and see what happens.
So, marriage, it's a contract you are buying to a female who can at any given moment, wake up one day and maybe your experiences are starting to dry out, maybe you are no longer a good father in her eyes, and she can't love you.
Obviously, of course.
And so what happens? This is what happens. Divorce happens, all right? So divorce happens, and guess what? She takes half of everything.
Unless, of course, you sign a prenup, or you hire a good lawyer, or you settle things through mediation outside of court, or really any of the other amazing options that you would have, as a citizen of a free country. This just seems like he only knows about marriage and divorce from reading poorly moderated MRA forums and doesn't actually know how this works in real life. It's not just a matter of, someone just waking up one day and thinking, yep, okay, today's the divorce and I'll be taking half of everything. Like, that's not the way that it actually works. There's a whole lot of steps and moving parts. And that's for people much more qualified than me to speak about. But suffice to say, this guy has a child's understanding of divorce.
So she takes half of whatever kingdom that you built, half of your resources.
And that is why I personally intend to get into massive amounts of debt before I get married, because if, as this guy is correct, it'll inevitably fall apart. Guess who has to take away half of my debt and pay it back for me? Life hacks, there we go. That is some real red pill knowledge right there.
And she is able to do that under no clause, all right? There's no clause divorce. And this is a horrible, horrible thing for men.
Okay, so I studied law for like 1 year at university. I didn't finish the degree and I never really covered divorce law, but I know enough to Google search things. It's actually called no-fault divorce, and the alternative to a no-fault divorce is only getting divorced when there are things like adultery or abuse involved. In other words, prior to no-fault divorces, in my understanding of things, you only really got divorced if you were being cheated on or if you were being abused. Didn't seem to leave a whole lot of options for people back then. We have a better system now.
Men need to understand this before they get into marriage contracts. She can literally wake up one day and just not be feeling you anymore and be like, whoop, I'm out of here, whoop, I'm out. And guess what? I'll see you in court. And you are gonna have to show up to court and you're gonna have to shell out money, and hopefully you don't have kids because you're gonna have to pay child support on top of the alimony.
Okay, again, this is just a child's understanding of divorce, and therefore it will be struck from the record under the low IQ arguments clause. Let's continue.
So the next thing I'll talk about is intersexual dynamics, all right? And this is something that's really important, and it's something that you obviously, once you take the red pill, you become aware of.
Okay, so intersexual dynamics. This is an interesting word. It might be interesting to note that one of the things that cults and conspiracy theorists often do in order to indoctrinate new members into their movement is that they either make up new words or terms, or they redefine new words or terms.
At least what I became aware of as soon as I took the red pill and I started doing my research, and I started to truly understand how I had been lied to my whole life, basically. And how everything I was taught growing up, everything that you wanted to believe everything that's pushed onto you as a child growing up is a complete lie.
So once again, it's all a complete lie, which I suppose technically is true. I mean, growing up, I was told that gay people shouldn't be allowed to marry, that women should be subservient to men, and that Pluto was a planet. So, you know what, on this point, yes, I kind of agree that everything I was taught when I was younger was a lie. I just really don't see where we're going with this.
So intersexual dynamics, all right, what does that mean?
Long story short, it means absolutely nothing. Next.
That means that I'm able now as a red pill man, and I'm sure if you're watching, if you're a red pill aware person, you're able to understand like when women are going through their party years, they're going through alpha phases where they go and seek out the highest man, and then when they're ready to settle down with the provider, all right? So this is when they're usually post-wall and they're around 30 years old, and they're now trying to settle down with a provider.
Okay, so really that bit just there gave us a whole lot to reflect on. So let's kind of go through these with a few counterpoints of my own. The first point of which would be that no competent psychologist or behaviorist or really any biologist or scientist at all with any kind of credibility and an IQ above room temperature would agree that these are fixed phases that every single person goes through. I'd really love to see where in like poverty-stricken phases where literally everyone works like 18-hour days that, you know, the women go through the party phase. I'd really love to see that, or where that data is. Or like in places in the world where women aren't even allowed to leave the home without a chaperone. Again, where is that? If this is a universal law, it doesn't seem to be applying universally. And in fact, I'd really just like to have like any evidence at all. I don't think this guy really understands how prevalent things like social anxiety are in the world, and how many people, especially nowadays, are pretty comfortable just to stay home and not go through the party phase just because they don't want to. And then of course we've got to talk about the whole socio-sexual hierarchy thing, alphas, betas, etc. I've done videos on that, so you can check those out. I'll be doing further videos in the future. Suffice it to say that the whole alpha and beta thing was based on a study that was really, really bad, and even the guy that did the study said it was really, really bad. He couldn't replicate it, and then the socio-sexual hierarchy kind of took that study and ran with it. Oh, and it was created by a Nazi. So we can probably not take the whole alpha beta thing too seriously, if that's what you'd prefer. Also, I don't know what this guy's beef is with women over the age of 30. Like, women over the age of 30 are still like humans. And also, many of them still super hot. Michelle Pfeiffer is 63 years old. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
When you're red pill aware, you're also able to tell when women are cheating.
That is, of course, a very interesting superpower, and I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with insecurity and misogyny.
You'll see maybe a woman out and about, and she might be with her husband or a boyfriend, but her head's constantly looking around, and she's obviously looking around and being hypergamous, and you're able to catch that as a red pill aware man.
Ah, there's the conservative pearl clutching we all know and love. Also, realistically, what's wrong with provocative clothes? Shut up, man. Like, you know full well that the people that you would be interested in aren't dressed in like a sackcloth. Like, shut up. This is just the way that people dress now. Grow up, dude.
She's obviously looking around and being hypergamous, and you're able to catch that as a red pill aware man. Or,
in other words, you just assume that all women are cheaters because this guy really doesn't like women. And of course, you cannot disprove the fact that, you cannot disprove the statement all women are cheaters, because, even if I would say, well, this woman hasn't cheated, they would say, well, this woman hasn't cheated yet. And yeah, that's something that I couldn't completely disprove. I would have to follow a single woman for her entire life to ensure that it didn't happen in order to prove it. So yeah, let's just move on again.
You're able to catch that she is hypergamous and she's going to cheat on this man, and she obviously doesn't find this man that sexually attractive. He's more so a provider. So you're able to tell the difference between the provider and then someone that sexually satisfies her.
Come on, dude, don't just project your insecurities onto other people just because you were cheated on in the past. It doesn't mean that every single woman is a cheater. It probably just means that you are a crappy person with a crappy personality and you couldn't fulfill her in any way. It's fine, it happens to the best of us, and I can link you an instructional WikiHow article and you can be right back at it tomorrow if you want.
A woman will only seek out these two types of men, when she goes out into the marketplace. The two types of men are the alpha, or the guy she's most sexually attracted to, and the provider, all right? And the provider guy is usually more beta.
Of course, I refer to my previous videos on alphas, but like I can't think of anything more beta than just creating an entire YouTube channel about complaining that women won't sleep with you. That just seems to me a really, like, it's not an alpha move. It's not a sigma move either. It's a definite beta move.
He's usually the guy that is spending a lot of money and time and effort and using a lot of his energy in order to help her have a great lifestyle, while he might actually not be having the best lifestyle, but he pedestalizes her and her needs are always above his. And the alpha guy, he's simply there just to basically have sex with her, satisfy her sexually.
So wait, then could we not just completely dismantle this whole idea of hypergamy by just eliminating alphas? Because if there's no alphas to go and sleep with like all the women out there and everyone takes the blue pill and everyone becomes a beta, then like the problem actually goes away, doesn't it? Like that's a solution. It's a stupid solution, but hey, it's a stupid theory.
To sum up the blue pill for you guys just really quickly, the blue pill is the opposite of everything I just taught you. So it's basically how you had been living life up until whenever you took the red pill.
Well, thank God, because I was a massive misogynist beforehand. So now that I've taken the red pill, I can finally get to respecting women in the way that I should have been doing this whole time.
Everything that I just listed before this is basically, it's the opposite. So the blue pill is just what you're born into, and it's lack of understanding. So you have a lack of understanding.
Just the irony of like a 23-year-old with no background in psychology or behaviorism or sociology saying that anyone doesn't have a certain level of understanding is just a little bit too meta for me at this point. And yeah, I can never fully decide if these videos are serious or if they're just trying to troll me. Like that comment, you know, it's all a lack of understanding. Like that has to be like a little subtle dog whistle, right?
More particular, we're just talking about women in this instance, but I can go into religion, how religion is used to manipulate you as well.
And again, just as a by the way, there are a bunch of videos on his channel where he uses the Bible and specific Bible quotes to back up his red pill ideology. So again, like, where is the goddamn internal consistency? Please, just like a crumb of consistency, dude.
So you have a lack of understanding, and therefore, since you have a lack of understanding, you are easily able to be manipulated. You're easily able to just basically become a slave to the government, a slave to women, and they can do this for centuries, because very few men are really red pill aware. For centuries, he says. Oh my God, dude, women only got the right to vote like 100 years ago. Like, marital rape was still legal until like the 1990s in the UK. Tell me, please, why have women been hiding their power level for this long? And this is just a basic like overview I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you guys could take something away from this and you guys can understand a little bit more about the red pill and the blue pill. If you didn't already know about it, hopefully this helped you. I can get into more of the pills later if you'd like. I'll take a tab of ecstasy, please. But basically, like, I'm more confused now than ever before. That's the problem. I mean, I feel like I learned a lot about the red pill and about the female nature, hypergamy, marriage being a scam, and so on and so forth. But I don't feel like I fully grasped it. So we're gonna have to explore this concept further in future videos. So that's all I've got for this video today. I hope you have found it useful.
Let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments section down below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a dislike on the video if you didn't enjoy it, because the engagement doesn't really matter to me. It still boosts the video a little bit, and I'm a small channel, so every little helps, guys. Subscribe to the channel if this is the kind of content that you're interested in. Of course, I don't just do this. I mainly do videos on confidence and life advice for the average Joe, but I find that this kind of stuff interests me, and it's kind of the other side of self-improvement for men. So if this is what you're interested in, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And that's it. That's all I've got for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos here on this channel very soon.